Hey scoundrels, welcome back, and if you're not a subscriber and you want to be a scoundrel, you can do that by clicking the subscribe button. Go on, get on it. I am an Eve Echoes content creator for those of you that don't know me. My name is Excoundrel. I focus on kind of light-hearted educational content, and I try to fit as much information in as possible, and I try to be as accurate as possible where I can. And today I'm going to be covering a video that I have already uploaded, and I'm just going to redo because essentially YouTube sent that video to YouTube Hell for some reason, and about 10 hours ago you could no longer view it, and I don't know why. So I'm going to redo the video, and today we're focusing on the first part of my money making series, which is the easiest way, in my opinion, and probably the most fun way for the majority of the player base to make money, which is essentially doing anomalies or ratting. For those of you that don't know what ratting is, it is a slang term in EVE to refer to killing NPC-controlled ships for their bounties and their loot, and therefore making money from the bounties, the loot, and also doing it through the encounter menu as well, which is essentially the equivalent to missions. As I said, there's lots of different ways to approach this. I'm going to go through it stage by stage, starting from the most simple to a little bit more complex, and I'm going to timestamp everything in the description below as well as in the comments, so you can go and check out any specific part of this video. And at the end, I will have a 15-minute example of how me and 3 of my friends tackled a tier 7 anomaly. Unfortunately, ended up being 3 of us because my friend disconnected halfway through, but we did it with tier 4 destroyers, with a bit of like managing aggro, communication, and warping in and out. We kind of tackled some tier 7 anomalies, and we were making about 3 million an hour, which was pretty decent in the ships that we had. Tomorrow I'm going to get my hands on a caracal, and I'm going to be able to massively up the rate at which I do anomalies, and the rate I can do it solo as well. But that's going to be another video for another day. For the time being, I'm going to redo the video on anomalies just so we have that information out there and I actually have the video ready to go on the channel. So let's, to begin with, focus on what are anomalies. Well, as you can see here, they look to have been completely cleared out in this system, so I'm going to have to go to another system. Wait a second. So this would actually be a good time, whilst I'm searching for a system to find anomalies, to illustrate to you, to talk a little bit about where to select a system and what types of anomaly level you can expect in a said system. As you can see over on the right hand side, we have a table. I'm going to talk about this first. Now, this is actually from EVE Online, and what I want you to ignore is the level column. So where it says level next to class, ignore that column. Class is going to talk about the respective tier of anomalies. So that class column should say tier, and we've got from 1 to 10. So anomalies go from level 1 to level 10. Okay? In high-sec space, which is any space that has the number 1.0 to 0.5, you should be able to find between level 1 and level 4 anomalies. I have yet to see any level 4 anomalies. I usually see between 1 and 3, but you should be able to find between level 1 and level 4 anomalies in high-sec space. In low-sec space, it should range from level 3 down to level 8 anomalies. Again, in low-sec space, have yet to find any tier 8s, but I have found quite a considerable number of tier 5s and tier 6s. And once you get into null-sec, which is from 0.0 and below, you should be able to find from tier 4 to tier 10, depending on the level of null-sec that you're at. The further and deeper you go into null-sec, the more likely you are to find the higher tier anomalies. So this chart might not be completely accurate for EVE Echoes, but it gives you the general idea. The lower tier anomalies you are going to find in high-sec space. So those are the safer anomalies, but they're usually also the most populated. When you get into low-sec space, where it becomes a little bit more dangerous because you can be attacked at anomalies. So in low-sec space, you always have to be aware that PvP is definitely on the cards. You're going to find anomalies that range between tier 4 and 8. I've only seen between 4 and 6 in Echoes, but I'm sure if you went down to 0.1 or 0.2, there might be sort of level 7s or level 8s there, I guess if you're lucky. But I've only seen between 4 and 6 in Echoes, so someone might be able to correct me on that. And when you get to null-sec, you can definitely find from 4 to 10. The deeper that you go into like minus 0.3 or minus 0.4, etc., you're going to start to find 7s and 8s more regularly. Obviously, out in null-sec, you have to be very switched on. It is very dangerous, and people will attack you if they feel like they want to in that null-sec space. So when it comes to selecting a place to farm anomalies, you have to consider multiple things. Firstly, what tier of anomaly are you confident tackling. If you're by yourself and you're at this stage in the game, I would say that I am confident tackling tier 4 or tier 5 anomalies fairly comfortably. If I'm doing a tier 4 anomaly, I can pretty much AFK it. If I'm doing a tier 5 anomaly, I have to be a bit more careful and usually have to warp in and out towards a station to make sure I'm repairing and dealing the aggro properly. When I'm in a group, which you're going to see towards the end, I'm confident dealing with tier 6 and tier 7 anomalies, and if I'm in a bigger group of up to 10, tier 8 and tier 9s are definitely on the cards. Obviously, if I'm very new and I'm just using some of the most basic frigates, you're going to be looking for tier 1 and tier 2s. That should be easy enough for you to clear. But that is the general sort of idea that you want to have. When it comes to choosing the level of anomaly, you need to think about what tech level is your ship and what you're capable of doing. A general rule of thumb is the tech level or the tier that is equivalent to the tech level of ship that you're in should be a comfortable ride for you to take, you know, with relative ease. So I'm in a tier 4 destroyer right now. A tier 4 anomaly should be comfortable for me to approach. And obviously it becomes a little bit more up and down when you're in groups. You also have to be aware of the types of weapons that you're using, because the anomalies are associated with specific factions, so things like Serpentis, Garistas, Angel Cartel. They're not just fancy names, they also have different types of ships associated with different factions. So for instance, Angel Cartel run Minmatar, Garistas run Caldari, I believe Serpentis are Galente. And they're going to have different strengths and weaknesses, and they'll also use different types of weapons. So for instance, Angel Cartel, they are shield tanks, so if you're running lasers, you're going to be very effective versus them, and they mainly deal explosive damage through missiles and autocannons and that kind of stuff. Garistas are shield tanks, but missile users, or railgun users as well, so they are going to be very heavy on the shield tank front, less so on the armor. And if you're going up against something like Serpentis, I believe they're more armor tanks, but they have railguns. So you just have to be aware that each individual faction has strengths and weaknesses, and they'll also drop different types of loot. That is something that will come in a later video. It's a little bit too much for me to explain at this point. If you're just interested in bounties and just selling whatever loot you get on the market, don't worry too much about the type of faction that you're fighting for the current moment in time. So when it comes to selecting a place to farm, well, obviously, let's say you've chosen to farm in low sec or high sec. So I'm currently in Sync Liaison, and I'm going to look for a particular area of space that I think is going to be fairly unpopulated and could be good to farm anomalies in. What you want to do is make sure you're avoiding traffic lanes. Traffic lanes are very highly populated. You want to find a system that is a little bit out the way. So for instance here, a system like Pucheri, it's by itself, it has only one connecting gate. It's very unlikely that many people are going to be passing through here. It's going to be fairly relatively unpopulated. Something like Bazgerin or Mizneden, they will also have the same kind of thing. What I'm getting at is you want to find areas on the map that are generally isolated, have one connecting gate, and are not part of a traffic pathway. Those are the places that are less likely to actually have people farming the anomalies more consistently. Obviously, when you go into low sec and null sec, those areas will be less populated because the danger increases. If you're farming anomalies in high sec, you cannot get killed by other players. If you're farming anomalies in low sec or null sec, you are definitely going to be a target for pirates and PvPers looking to get some blood on their hands. So that is all about selecting and tier levels of anomalies. Let's talk a little bit more about how to approach anomalies and how to level up a system and special types of anomalies that spawn. So interestingly enough, in this particular system, a Serpentis Scout Anomaly has spawned. It's only level 1, it won't be worth much, but it actually is a really nice way to illustrate my point. When you want to find anomalies, you go to your system overview bar here, you'll drop down to Cosmic Anomaly, and you'll have the little sword symbol to indicate that is a battling area. You'll usually have a large list of anomalies ranging from small, medium, and large, as well as a base in most circumstances. Small are going to be very limited number of ships. The waves will be smaller and often won't include as many high tier ships. Medium will be slightly larger, and large being the largest waves that you'll have to face and obviously are going to be harder. Small are the easiest to conquer, but they also have there's less money to be made. Large are the hardest to conquer and obviously with more money to be made. But there are special types of anomalies as well. Bases, they define the level of the anomalies that you can have in your system. Bases will naturally level up over time, so you want to avoid clearing them, and you want to clear the anomalies around the lowest level, and then the base will start to level up. If you clear a base, you will not allow the system to level up, and you will reduce the capacity and the breadth of loot and bounties that you'll have available to you. If you keep clearing level 1 bases, you're going to be stuck at a level 1 system, and you're going to make absolutely no money. So if you're looking to level up a system, do not clear the base, clear the anomalies around it, and once the base is either hit max level for the type of security space that you're in, or you just feel comfortable taking it on at a slightly higher level above 1, then you can go and clear it and reset the process. Every time you clear an anomaly, you have a chance to spawn something called an Inquisitor or a Scout anomaly. I'm actually going to warp to this and show you what I mean. These anomalies are special because at the end, you will usually find containers which will have loot in them, which is usually more rare and easier to, and often sells for more on the market, usually like blueprints and stuff like that. And sometimes you have a chance to spawn faction loot. And when you get to a Scout anomaly, what you'll see here is an Inquisitor anomaly. You'll see a gate, and you'll warp through it, and you'll find that there are waves of NPCs at the end, and you'll also find containers that unlock once you've cleared out those waves. So just be aware that those are types of special anomalies that can spawn, and they will be hotly contested if you are in a system with lots of people. As you've just seen, there's people been warping through this warp gate, and there are 63 people in this system, so I guarantee you there are about 30 people through that warp gate right now. Just be aware, once they spawn, you should look to try and clear them ASAP because they are worth a lot, and if you're the first to the loot, you're going to get a huge reward for it, especially if you're in nullsec space and you're getting like tier 7 and tier 8 Inquisitor anomalies spawning. That's always going to be a really nice outcome for you. So that is how you sort of approach anomalies in the system. What I would say when it comes to dealing with anomalies, it all depends on the type of ship that you're running. I am running a missile boat, so what I want to do is I want to do something like, well, I can't do it here, but let's say I'm going to go to a Stargate, but you want to do warp, and I usually want to warp in at like 30 kilometers. So if you hold your finger on warp, you'll be able to set the warp distance that you want to warp in at. And that's obviously going to allow you to be a little bit further out when you're coming in with missiles. If you're a shorter range ship and you want to get up close and personal, you obviously want to warp directly to it and try and engage in combat ASAP. So it really depends on the types of ship that you're running. I think the easiest ships to do solo PvE content with is going to be something like a Caracal. You saw me do it in the beta. I'm going to do it again starting from tomorrow. So yeah, the Caracal for me is going to be the easiest ship that you can use, I think, to do solo PvE content. But it really just depends on what you're comfortable in and what you want to run, and also what you're training, to be honest with you. If you want to talk about the ship that I'm running right now, I haven't actually spent much on ships at this point in time. I've actually invested pretty heavily into unlocking new skills. I'm literally just running the free Corax trainer that I got. I run a mid-slot energy Nosferatu. I think for this, you'd either want to run a Nosferatu or a Stasis Web of Fire. The reason being is that if something does get up close and personal to you, like a frigate, you're either going to want to slow it down with a Stasis Web of Fire, or you're going to want to leech from it with a Nosferatu to boost your shields. Because I am running a shield tank, I'm primarily being a bit more tanky. There are two ways to think about this. You could either run an afterburner and run at max orbit range around your targets and just hope that you don't get hit as much. Or you can do what I'm doing, which is the lazy man's way of dealing with anomalies, is just running either a shield extender or a shield hardener and then a shield booster, and then using the Nosferatu to top yourself up in terms of capacitor, and then just try and tank your way through the waves. And then I have a ballistic control system to just give me a boost of DPS when I need it, and I'm obviously just running the highest tier small missile launchers that I can get for this ship. When I get into the Caracal tomorrow, I'm going to show you my setup and we'll work with that. One thing to note before we jump into my 4-person party tier 7 anomaly video is that when you are doing anomalies with a party, if you tag a ship and all of you tag the ship, you will split the bounty reward for that particular ship, which obviously means that if you're capable of doing things solo, you're going to get a higher bounty reward income. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that I kind of touched on it at the start. There is another way to approach doing... I've actually just lost these two. Unfortunately, I just didn't have time to do them. There is another way to approach doing bounties, and that is through PvE encounters. For instance, you can see here, Mine Defense Advanced. obviously I'm going to have a PvE encounter here, and they're going to be pretty decent ships. I'm going to get solid bounties from them. At the end of it, I'm also going to get a payout of a mission reward as well. I would say that encounters are usually the best way to go around PvE content, but obviously you do have to do a lot of jumps, so there's a bit of downtime between it. If you want to just farm a system, sometimes it's better to just warp to the individual anomalies, but I would say that if you want to do encounters, which are obviously good for leveling up through the advanced tutorial, they're also good at unlocking potential story mission rewards, then do think about using encounters as a way to generate income through ratting, as well as generating income through encounter rewards as well. Now let's get into my 4-man video with my friends where we kind of went through and did some tier 7 anomalies. What we're doing today is I am with my brother and 2 of my friends from school, and essentially we are doing tier 7 anomalies out in nullsec. And I'm going to go basically run through you how we work as a squad to take down tier 7 anomalies. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start taking out some of the more threatening or easier to kill ships. In this particular case, we're just going to slam the Blackbird and then slam the Osprey. So guys, just make sure we lock the Blackbird. And by the way, for context, all of us, apart from Sinbad, who is our, is a kind of like a, who kind of joined a little bit later, we're all in the trainer destroyer ships using either Mark III or Mark V get-ups. I am running a kind of close range shield tank setup. I probably will swap out my shield extender for a shield hardener because I found that the extender is not that useful. But I'm running an energy Nosferatu. The only reason I'm running that is because I'm staying close range as missiles because I'm a bit more of a shield tank. Wouldn't be running that if I was playing a long range missile ship. But I'm just sharing shield tanking when we have 2 Algoses who are running railgun drone setups and they're armor tanking, and then our little man Tom in the Condor he's just firing some missiles from afar. But yeah, we're going to try and work our way through this anomaly, and we'll show you kind of how much money you can make at the early stages of Eve. Make sure we hit the Osprey now because the Osprey is the most threatening. And in general, the workflow that you want to go is kill either the easiest ships, which usually like the frigates and the destroyers, then take out some of the more threatening things that are either cruisers or battle cruisers, and cruisers, and then you want to leave the battle cruisers to last for the most part, especially if you're running destroyers and frigates right now. Battle cruisers will actually struggle to deal damage to you for the most part because you're a little bit harder to hit and track. But it does get harder. These tier 7 anomalies do ramp up, and also what I would say is you're going to see the loot that drops. The loot that you get from tier 7 anomalies. As you can see here, I found a medium rapid missile launcher MK7. It's not worth a lot because no one has access to tier 7 right now. So essentially, if you're looting tier 7, don't bother trying to sell it because you just won't make any money. No one wants to buy it because no one can actually equip the stuff at this point in time. I'm actually taking a load of damage here. Yeah, and we'll get through the Feroxes and then we'll have another wave and we'll do the same thing. But one of the things that you do want to be aware of is that you also need to be very aware and communicative with each other about how much damage you're taking, because you will have to warp in and out in a lot of times. And for instance, I am about to take, well, I might actually have to warp out in a moment because I'm down to armor. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm actually going to warp out, and you guys just keep me updated, all right?
Yeah, not a problem.
I am I'm about to hit hull. I think I'm tanking both. I think I'm tanking both Feroxes here, so I'm just going to warp out.
Ferox is in the 3rd shield, so we should have it just down to 1 in a second.
Cool. Just let me know if you guys are taking any damage and who's safe to warp to. I'll just warp straight back to you.
I'm safe to warp to. I'm not. No, neither are locking me, but I am only at 10Ks from them.
Cool. I'm just going to dock and repair my armor, undock and warp straight to you, okay?
I'm engaged by one of them.
Okay, repair, confirm. The good thing about repairing, by the way, is it's costing me about half, if that, of a share of the battlecruiser bounty. So we're actually getting like insane kind of like value out of just doing these repair runs, because we're not really losing much economy for it at all. And when I started doing this, maybe we've been doing it for about an hour now, I came in and I had like 1.2 million. I'm now at 2.7 million, which is not big money. Like obviously as Eve goes on, that's pretty peanuts, but for equipping yourself out in a destroyer, like 2 to 3 mil is a pretty good starting place, to be honest with you.
I'm warping out because I've just hit hull.
All right, yeah, you get out. I'm back in.
You're good to warp to me. I'm full armor still, But I've only got aggro from one, so if this other one comes onto me, I might have to.
All right, which one are we? I'm just gonna lock them and double check. Lock.
I am locked by both of them, so I'm just gonna keep aligned to the station.
Yeah, all right. I'm actually gonna pop my ballistics for the. Oh, I'm actually locked onto the wrong bloody Ferox.
Yeah, I'm taking both. I'm gonna go because I was gonna hurt pretty fucking bad. Excuse me.
It's all right, Dan. You're allowed to swear words, just otherwise
Okay,
keep it clean. All right. I actually should be able to take out this Ferox with relative ease.
Are you safe to warp to?
Yeah, I'm safe to warp to.
Fine. I'm just gonna come back no shield, but because I'm armor tank, I don't.
I'm actually just gonna
desperately
orbit.
needing.
I'm gonna orbit this Ferox, and actually, I'm gonna get my Nosferatu on this one and keep the.
Right.
Are you good to walk back to Kin?
Yeah, I'm good to walk back to me.
Warping.
All right, I'm shield tanking now. Nosferatu on the right one. I'm orbiting the Ferox that we're going to kill last. I'm just going to get my Nosferatu on him so I can keep my shield up. Should be able to take out this.
Fine.
Yeah, it's down.
I'm
it's
back in.
Yeah, no worries. I'm shield tanking now. We should be fine. With just one Ferox, I have no problems.
Yep, no worries.
Right, just a matter of bursting down this last Ferox until the next wave hits.
I just got a tick of 100. Not a tick, but so on my next bounty, I have 142,000. So that's gonna be a huge bounty.
Is Tom gone, by the way?
No, he's still in the squad. He probably
I think he had to warp. I can't see him on over.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to use my ballistics because I just want to keep my Nosferatu for my booster right now.
That's fine.
Taking a bit of a beating though. I wonder if Tom actually had to go.
He just said he had to warp out.
Ah, okay, he had to warp.
You can walk back to me, Tom. Yeah, he's back.
Alright, nice. Keeping an eye on local as well, make sure we're not getting ganked. We actually got ganked a couple of times by well, Dan made some enemies. Dan made some enemies.
We had to defend our space.
Dan made some enemies, and he tried to warp in on us doing this the anomaly, and we just battered him. But we didn't actually manage to get any kills because we don't have any warp disruptors with us at the moment. But Dan's pretty good at making enemies, so
It just adds a bit of spice to life.
Absolutely.
Bit of PvE.
Alright, we should be able to get this Ferox down. Feroxes take a while to burn through because we're literally all using like small, because we're using destroyers or frigates, we've just got the small versions of the weapons, so obviously they tickle battle cruisers for the most part. Do you know what triggers me more than anything when I don't have all of my missiles in sync? Like all of my missile cycles not in sync?
Yeah,
That
I know.
triggers me more than anything.
My railguns are slightly out of sync as well.
Having them out of sync can be beneficial sometimes because it helps stagger the damage.
Yeah, and if you don't want to waste all your damage when you're going to like one tap them, but
Yeah.
it's my OCD. I can't help it.
I know what you're saying.
Alrighty, so we have got 2 Ospreys and 2 Ferox. Take the Corax out really quickly because the Corax is the one that's going to be very easy to kill. Oh, I've just accidentally cancelled a missile. Never mind. You can tell if any of the NPCs have locked you because a flashing red square will appear around them. Thank you very much, Dan, for that piece of information.
The flashing red is when they've engaged you. It'll be flashing yellow if they've locked you.
Yeah.
But usually if it's yellow, then they're going to start shooting.
So we're going to take the Corax out. The reason we're taking the Corax out is it dies quickly. It removes a source of DPS that we don't have to worry about. And then out of the Ferox and the Ospreys, we're going to focus the Ospreys because they deal ridiculous damage. I've got an MK7 afterburner. That'll be pretty good for when we
Oh yeah.
So I have been locked and being damaged by one of the, I think it's one of the Ospreys, but if I'm honest with you, I can tank one of them. As long as we're splitting tanking, we're going to have no issues here. I'm actually going to pop the extender just to buy myself a bit more time.
Yeah, that Osprey is going down pretty quick.
With the extenders, you don't actually keep the shield that they give you, but it acts like extra effective HP, because it essentially, if they burst through your extender shield, it'll just drop you back to where you were previously, and your booster still works. So it's essentially, it's like surplus shield. It's a good way of mitigating damage, but I think a shield hardener in general would be better for me. Okay, we're going to get the Osprey.
Yeah, I mean, for the makeup of this wave, actually, how quickly we're doing this one, it's pretty good.
Yeah, the Ospreys are, they're just high damage output.
Yeah.
I'm taking a bit of a beating. I'm hoping that we can, the next Osprey I'm going to be able to kill with relative ease. Cruiser wreck, what did we get? We got another rapid missile launcher. I'm actually going to pop my ballistics because I really want to burst. Oh, my medium energy Nosferatu sold. Brilliant.
Tom just had to warp out.
Okay, no worries. I think I'm going to have to warp. You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Fine, but probably usually means we're not far behind you.
No stress. I'm going to warp and repair and head back. This is kind of what you have to do, especially when you're trying to take on anomalies that are kind of above your level. It's all about juggling aggro and juggling warp and staggering your warps so that you always have someone there to warp back to for relative ease, and you can kind of get back in, take over the tanking, take over the damage. It's just about managing your HP bars between your crew. Like we're a crew of like a tier. It must be a tier 2 frigate and 3 tier 4 destroyers, and they're the trainer versions. And we're taking tier 7 anomalies on with just 4 of us, and we're making decent money as well. Not like insane money because we're not clearing them that quickly, but we're making decent money. Oh god, there's someone at the station. I really don't want to get locked here.
What are they in?
They are in a Corax. He's 35 kilometers away from me. Don't think.
That guy's been in and out a lot of the day. So
Has he? Okay.
Yeah, G90 origin, yeah.
All right, no worries.
are you taking damage from these people, Alex?
Yeah, but it's manageable at the moment.
Okay.
I think, especially if we get this Osprey.
One of the Ferox is in armor.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'm warping to you now. This guy hasn't locked me or anything. He's only 7 kilometers away from me. So
yeah, I'm okay in terms of I'm out tanking it.
Okay.
My shield repair is working faster than their damage. Now that Osprey's down, it'll be fine.
Why are my drones not engaging? Oh, there we go.
if we had a bigger fleet, we'd be able to clear these quicker and probably make more money. But you obviously you're dealing with a greater split of the bounty as well, so you have to be aware of that. Did we kill the Osprey?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Which Ferox are we? Okay, I can see which one.
There's one in like 3/4 armor. I think we've kind of got the sweet spot for doing it because it's kind of fun.
Yeah, no, it's kind of challenge. Oh, why does it always do this? It always targets the wrong one. Okay, Caldari, ship debris. Again, I'm not going to be selling any of this tech. What we're doing, and you might want to do something different for your group, is we are kind of splitting the... I'm taking the loot, and I will ferry it back to a trade hub at some point, and then we're going to essentially share the profits through contract trading. But I'm not going to sell any Tech 7 loot yet, because no one's going to be buying it, because literally no one can equip it. So there's almost no point doing it in terms of selling it on the market right now. So I'm going to wait until I hit Tech 7, and once I hit Tech 7, a lot of other people will be hitting Tech 7 because I created my character like at 9 AM on launch day when it came out. But it's just going to be a stack of ISK that we can work with, you know. Okay, that's the 35k bounty, battlecruiser wreck there as well. Going to get into orbit of this last Ferox. I'm going to pop my ballistics because I might as well. I'm not tanking. I am taking some damage.
Yeah, me too.
First 4x in armor.
I think I'm going to have to warp out.
That's no worries, that's no worries. Do the Coraxes and then the Blackbirds. There's no Ospreys in this wave. We've actually found a lot of times with no Ospreys in the wave, we don't actually have to warp out nearly as much. Corax, okay, Corax.
Yeah, I'm warping out.
No worries, no worries. I'm healthy and I shouldn't be.
Are you yellow box by any?
What's that? Sorry.
Are you yellow box by any? At
No,
the
I think the Ferox has got me. Yeah, one of the Ferox has targeted me.
Okay.
But I can deal with just one Ferox. It's the Ospreys that deal the most damage. Okay, Blackbird. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually shield tanking fine right now. I'm going to drop my extender.
Are you safe to warp to?
I'm safe to warp to. Yep. I'm 100% shield, so not going to have too much use. I think am I locked by several? I'm locked by all three, so I'm going to have to warp in a minute.
Blackbird just wrecked a lot of shield. I don't quite understand why it goes blue on their shield.
It's a shield extender.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm locked and targeted by all of them, and so I think as soon as my capacitor drops out of range, I'm going to have to go to station.
Fine, I'm back in now.
All right. If we can burst the black, see, you can see how the difference between having Ospreys in the wave and Blackbirds in the wave. Because when the Blackbirds are in the wave, I've been tanking almost all of them for the entire time, and I'm still at 50% HP. Wait, my Nosferatu's not on the right target. I wondered why my capacitor was going down. My Nosferatu was out of range on the Ferox.
We're about to down the first Blackbird.
Yeah, I can pop a shield extender in just a moment. But I'm gonna have to warp. I'm I'm afraid.
Fine.
No, I might be okay. No, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Right, I'm gonna warp. I popped my shield extender. It's gonna give me enough time to get to the base, but I'm gonna have to warp because I'm taking too much armor damage now. Good, I'm out.
I know.
I'll jump back in after I've repaired.
I think you should come back to a dead Blackbird.
Yeah, it's getting super fast.
No stress, no stress. Low capacitor. No, it's time. I've got low capacitor.
I'm being yellow boxed by the Blackbird.
I'm
the Blackbird.
The Ferox is going for me.
Okay. Have you got one Ferox?
Drop it
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
Yeah, he is giving me a bit of a beating.
Going to warp to... Who can I warp to? Danny, you safe to warp to?
Yep.
Okay, I'm warping to Dan.
Blackbird is down. Might just be okay.
I think once we finish this wave, I'm actually going to go to bed, guys, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because
I think I'm the
it's
same.
actually fucking 1 AM. What the fuck happened to the time?
I'm going to warp some in low armor.
I think we pick up some 5s tomorrow.
Yeah, no, 5s would be good. I'm working in the same sort of time frame tomorrow, but tomorrow evening I'm good. Have a whole week off.
Oh,
there we go.
I got a bounty.
I just got a
it was only 200k.
Yeah.
Was it? Mine was 300k.
I think I just dodged a lot of kills.
Or is it about the damage share that you?
It shouldn't be.
No.
I'm walking back so you can.
I'm good. I mean, I don't have any issues here.
Both of my drones are not attacking for some reason.
Battle cruiser wreck. Caldari ship debris, which I don't even know if will sell very well right now. Because there's
You
no
get the
industry.
ship debris you can reprocess for rig components.
Yeah, don't you need to have... Isn't there reprocessing skills for that, though, that make it better?
Yes. Well, I imagine there is, yeah.
There was in the beta. I don't know if they've dropped them or not. I'm going to go have a look at the industrial
I
technology.
would have thought they would. You're doing an industrial, though, aren't you?
Special ore reprocessing. Scrap metal processing. It's scrap metal, right?
I think so.
Including modules, ships. Yeah, I do have an industry alt, but I'm going to keep them until I have reprocessing skills up on them.
Yeah.
They're only a basic Omega clone as well, so they're not going to train as quickly as my main account. I can't bother to spend 30 quid a month on 2 clones. Yeah, once this wave's down, I'm probably going to walk back to station and chill. Go to bed.
Yeah, sounds good.
I got enough content, by the way. There's no way I'm putting 35 minutes of clearing waves out as the video, so I'm going to just edit it.
It's like 15 minutes at most, isn't there? Something.
I'll probably do a little explanation beforehand and then do the footage and then edit it down a little bit.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hooray.
Do you realise you get more? Oh, we actually cleared the wave. There we go.
Yeah.
That's the whole wave cleared. There we go. We did it. That'll be where I end the. Well, be where I end the video. We've cleared the whole wave out. It took us 35 minutes to clear that whole wave. Okay. And I'll double check how much I started on. I'm obviously due a little bit more bounty gold, but I think I made about...
I think you said you're on 2.2 or something like that.
I think I made about $1 mil in 35 minutes. So you could probably make between 2 and 3 mil an hour, depending on how well equipped and stocked you are. Which, for the 3 days into Eve, 2 to 3 mil an hour is actually pretty good.
Yeah.